Okay, here's something that should bother you more than it does. Jesus lived around 33 years. The Bible covers his birth. Then it gives us one moment when he's 12 years old. And the next time we see him, he's about 30, getting baptized and beginning his public ministry. That means that there are 18 years missing, just gone, unaccounted for, in the biography of the Son of God. There's no chapter, no footnote, no meanwhile in Nazareth, nothing, just silence. Now, either those years didn't matter, or maybe God wants us to pay attention to the silence. And I've been looking into this, and what I found messed me up. Welcome to the Sacred Files. Most of us grew up hearing about Jesus and never stopped to do the math. He's born, we get in the manger, the shepherds, the wise men. Then Luke chapter 2 gives us one story of him at 12 years old in the temple. The teachers are amazed. His parents are panicking because they lost him for 3 days. And then Luke basically says, Jesus grew in wisdom and stature. That's it. That's the transition. He grew. 18 years summarized in one sentence. Now think about your life between the age of 12 and the age of 30. The things you've learned, the mistakes you've made, the people you met, the person you've become. For Jesus, Scripture gives us almost nothing. So today's case is simple. What was Jesus doing? Where did he go? And why does the Bible stay silent about those years? Let's open the file. As you can see here, we have a timeline. Jesus' birth in Bethlehem, the age of 12, 10, he's in the temple of Jerusalem. Then we see this big red question mark, the silent years. And then we see the baptism and the ministry of Jesus Christ. In Luke chapter 2, verse 51 to 52, it says, Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured all these things in her heart, and Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. So the last place we see Jesus as a child is Jerusalem, in the temple. But after that, Luke tells us he went back to Nazareth with his parents and was obedient to them. That is the last GPS ping we have on Jesus for 18 years. Nazareth. And Nazareth was not that impressive. It was small, overlooked, disrespected. When Nathanael hears that Jesus is from Nazareth, he literally says, Can anything good even come out of Nazareth? And that was the reputation of this town. The Son of God spent his hidden years in a place people made jokes about. That alone should tell us something. Now, in Mark chapter 6, verse 3, it says, Isn't this the carpenter? Isn't this Mary's son and the brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us? And they took offense at him. Here's a clue people miss. When Jesus returns to Nazareth as an adult, the people who knew him growing up are offended by him. And they say, Is this not the carpenter? Not just the carpenter's son. Notice it doesn't say the carpenter's son, just the carpenter. Isn't this the carpenter? That means Jesus was known for his work. He worked with his hands. He built things. He served customers. He dealt with difficult people. He probably woke up early, got tired, handled responsibility, and helped provide. Jesus was not hiding in some mystical cave for 18 years. He was in a workshop. He probably had calluses on his hands. Now, I want to read Luke 2:52 one more time, and it says, And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. And then I want to jump to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1 to 3. Look what it says. A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse, and from his roots, a branch will bear fruit. The fruit of the Lord will rest on him. The spirit of wisdom and of understanding, the spirit of counsel and of might, the spirit of the knowledge and fear of the Lord, and he will delight in the fear of the Lord. He will not judge by what he sees with his eyes or decide by what he hears with his ears. The word wisdom means more than information. It means lived wisdom, practical wisdom, wisdom formed through experience. Isaiah chapter 11 prophesies that the Messiah would carry the spirit of wisdom, understanding, counsel, and might. Those things are not just learned in public, they are formed in private, in ordinary days, in hard conversations, in quiet obedience. In years of faithfulness when nobody is clapping, the silence was not empty. It was a furnace. It was heating up. It was building. Now, the silence has made people come up with some wild theories. Theory 1, Jesus went to India and studied under Hindu masters. Theory 2, Jesus went to Egypt and trained in mystery schools. Theory 3, Jesus joined the Essenes, a Jewish monastic community. Now listen, some of these theories sound like Netflix documentaries waiting to happen. But the problem is simple. There's no solid biblical evidence for them. And here's what's funny. That all these theories assume ordinary life wasn't enough. They assume Jesus had to be somewhere exotic, doing something mystical. But what if the most radical thing about those 18 years is that he was just home, working, waiting, submitting, growing, living faithfully? What if God's preparation doesn't always look like preparation? Here's where I landed on this case. The Bible does not tell us everything that happened in those 18 years. And I believe that silence is intentional because God is showing us something powerful. The ordinary years count. The hidden years count. The years where nothing seems to be happening count. The years where you're just working, just waiting, just serving, just being faithful in a place nobody respects, those years are not wasted. Jesus did not begin his ministry at 30 despite his years in Nazareth. He began his ministry because of those years. And I want to talk to somebody who feels like they're in their Nazareth season. You are not on a stage. You are not in front of a crowd. Nothing about your life looks like what God promised you. And maybe you're wondering if you missed it. You did not miss it. You're in a workshop and the carpenter is still building. One more thing before we close the case. When Jesus finally steps into public ministry at his baptism, the Father speaks from heaven and says, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased." Well pleased. Before one miracle, before one sermon, before one person was healed, God was already pleased with him in Nazareth, in the workshop, in the hidden years. His approval was not based on performance, how many miracles you performed today. It was based on relationship. So in reality, what we see here, the missing years, is just that. They weren't, even though they're silent years, they weren't missing years. They were years of preparing Jesus for what was about to happen. What is God teaching you in your hidden season that you could not learn anywhere else? Don't answer too quickly. Actually sit with it. Next week, we open case 002, and this one got me. We're talking about the other Judas, not the traitor, not Judas Iscariot, the one history almost forgot, and what his story teaches us about people who do everything right and still don't get recognized. If that hits close to home, you need to be here. My name is Marco. This is The Secret Files.